having a blast at the Jersey Shore at Martell's Tiki Bar. Now let's go to some politics. With 3 more weeks until the first debate, Joe Biden and Donald Trump are trading insults and letting the trash talk fly.
You bring up your opponent, Donald Trump. He has said of your executive action, he's pretending to finally do something about the border, but it's all about show. He says we have a debate coming up. Biden's executive order is weak and pathetic.
Is he describing himself? Weak and pathetic? Come on.
Are you ready for this debate?
Yes. Yes.
President Trump is hammering Biden on the border crisis.
We are so weak on the borders now. We were so strong. This guy goes to the beach all the time. You ever watch him in a bathing suit? Somebody told him he looks good. Oh, Joe, you look great in a bathing suit. You know, you're 82 years old. You look fantastic. He can't lift the chair. The chair weighs about 3 hours. You know those chairs, aluminum, hollow aluminum. They weigh like, they're built for old people to lift and for children to lift. He can't lift.
And that guilty verdict is not keeping Trump down. New Fox polling shows the former president is beating sleepy Joe Biden in Arizona and Florida and Nevada. And it's a dead heat in the blue state of Virginia. All right, so seeing as Donald Trump, Harold, is beating in all those states, beating Biden, do you think that Biden is right when he says that Donald Trump is weak and pathetic?
Well, I hope that they are able to get to talking about the issues at some point. I think there are major differences between the two of them on trade. There's major differences on the economy. I'm interested in that debate for a lot of reasons. Perhaps most important, Jesse, is to get specifics on how do you lower food costs? How do you lower gas costs? Mr. President, how do you think we should deal with reproductive rights for women across the country? I want both of them to be able to share their views and let the country choose. I do think in that poll you just put up, Judge Janine, the fact that there's only a 4-point difference in Florida is really an interesting thing to me. I thought President Trump would be up far bigger in Florida. This race is a 50-50 race. This June 27 debate, I think, will tip things a little bit in favor of whomever America thinks won that debate. And then we'll all be looking forward to the second one in August and maybe even a third one in September.
Well, you know, Dana, you're the one who's great with all the numbers in the polls. What do you think about what Harold said?
I think it's pretty interesting that Virginia is tied, and I think partly that's because Governor Glenn Youngkin has revitalized the Republican Party in Virginia, and he's also achieved results. And so people are looking at that. But I also think that that northern part of Virginia makes it fool's gold for Republicans sometimes. However, if Biden is having to spend money in Virginia, that means he's not able to spend all that money elsewhere, right? So that gets tighter. The other thing is that Biden cannot hold a news cycle. He can't win a news cycle. He can go to France, he still can't win a news cycle. And, you know, ABC News did this big interview with him. They went over there when he interviewed with, was it Zelensky? They go over and do a big interview with Biden. It makes no news. It doesn't even make, this interview in France with Biden didn't even make the front page of their website. So I think in the lead up between now and the debate, Trump is going to try to figure out a way to win every news cycle like he has been doing. And that gets you that like hype, like leading up to the Mike Tyson, what's his name?
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul. I was going to say John Paul, but he was a pope.
Yes, he was.
But like that, you're going to have to hype it up and get ready. So I think this is the ramp up to that. But Biden can't win a news cycle.
You know, Jesse, one of the things that Donald Trump has done is he has really criticized Joe Biden in this alleged securing the border executive order. You know, do you think that the public is buying that Joe Biden is securing the border when 1.8 million can still come in every year?
Absolutely not. And if I'm Trump at the debate stage and he calls me weak, I say, Joe, the Taliban told you what to do. I'd say the cartels tell you what to do. I'd say AOC bosses you around, Joe Biden. You're the weakest president we've ever had in the history of the United States of America. These border control policies that he just initiated, they changed the definition of fear. So you don't even have to say you're scared in order to get asylum. If you're just silent, they interpret that as being scared and they let you come on in. And Harold, this is not a 50-50 race. Joe Biden is losing every single battleground state. And if you're tied in Virginia, this is looking like an absolute landslide.
He's 4 points ahead in Florida, though.
4 points ahead in Florida. He's up in all of the Rust Belt states that he needs to win. He's up in the Sun Belt. He's up pretty much anywhere.
And he's going to win Nevada.
And now Donald Trump is picking off Joe Biden's base with young people, blacks and Hispanics. Joe Biden's on the defensive big time, and Donald Trump is raising boatloads of money. So now they're even in the war chest. I think it's over, Harold. You might as well just quit.
You know what, Greg, do you know that the Trump campaign raised $300 million in May? Take that one, Harold, too. But in addition to that, I love you, though, Harold, but in addition to that, Greg, the truth is the Democrats hope that the convicted felon moniker would put an end to Donald Trump. It doesn't mean a darn thing.
Well, I think they forget the mistake that the Democrats have made is they've abdicated their role as the victim. They were the victim party. They just made Trump the victim. Whoops. Think about this. It's 3 weeks till the debate. What is that in Biden years? This guy is declining so fast, Ukraine is sending him aid. But you know what? There is a sense of existential dread among the Democrats because they realize that America has gone from wanting change to deciding for change. It's like when you were a young guy and you were dating a girl and you were selfish and uncaring, she wanted to leave you. But then when she decided she was going to leave you, then you make the promises. Then you swear you're going to change. Then you say, oh, I'm going to be different. Please don't leave me. Please don't leave me. I'll change. That's America. What the Democrats have noticed is that a decision has been made. The Americans want change, and they're looking at Trump in a different way. There's some people that aren't crazy about him, but they realize Biden is a bigger risk to the country than Donald Trump is a risk to your feelings.
All right. All right. Yay!
A girl never left you, did she? A girl would never leave Greg. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.